If you've lived in Salt Lake long enough, you've probably been to Bill and Nada's. Opened in 1946 by Bill and Nada McHenry, a year after they got married, the much-missed 24-hour cafe that once stood at 479 South became a staple of the SLC food scene, attracting people from all walks of life. It was especially popular with the late-night crowd.
There was a waitress named Ruth. For years, she did the graveyard shift. So she would show up at 1 and she would clap her hands together and rub them and say, "It's showtime," because that's when all the bar people would show up.
It was iconic because it was open 24 hours, 24-hour service, which is really incredible in general, especially for the 1940s.
Bill and Nada's closed in 1999 after Bill McHenry passed away, but the memories live on. In a Facebook group called the Friends of Bill and Nada's, a Reddit thread, and even a playlist dedicated to its glory days as one of SLC's most iconic hangouts and eateries.
Bill, he was an old schooler. You know, when I was working for him, he was like 93 at the time. And, you know, he had a steak every day at 4 p.m. He wanted a real working man's restaurant where people could come in anytime when they were hungry and get a solid meal.
Part of the restaurant's charm was its old school decor, which barely changed since its post-World War II opening. From the tableside jukeboxes to paper placemats featuring U.S. presidents, that familiarity and lack of modern touches was as much of a draw as the food and prices.
I mean, it hadn't changed in 50 years when I worked there. Like, people relied on that, and that was comfortable.
The food always remained a mix of classic diner staples and dishes with a twist, like the diner's most iconic dish, brains and eggs. They also served orange-colored pancakes. After operating for 15 successful years, Bill lost his life partner and half the restaurant's namesake.
Unfortunately, Nada died at the young age of 38 in 1961. Bill remarried, and he continued to run the restaurant till August of 1999.
But the name of the restaurant never changed.
I think it was an honor to her life and an honor to the role that she played in starting this cafe and the community along with it.
Until Bill's last days on Earth, Bill and Nada's remained the same and became a family for both the employees and customers.
It meant so much to so many people. You know, there are places that people go in our current day and age, you know, that are great and they have good food. But Bill and Nada's was a standard. It was real. It was that. It wasn't pretend, you know, so it was authentic.
Shanti Lerner, Fox 13 News, Utah.